Hello and welcome to not another podcast. I don't know why I said
Was
another.
there one before?
There wasn't. This is the pilot episode.
Is this like Star Trek where it's like a different captain and then I'm Captain Kirk and it's like, what happened to the other guy?
Yeah, no, I totally goofed on that intro.
Yeah, you want to do that again?
No,
Or
I
you wanna keep
don't
going?
actually.
Cool.
This is a pilot. This is what we have to do.
Alright.
We have to screw up a few times.
Okay.
And this will be the first time.
You going to introduce me or
Of
do I
course,
introduce
sitting
myself?
across from me, I have my lovely friend, Jordan Gasparado, also co-host of Not Another Podcast.
Why am I co-host?
Because,
I think we're both hosts.
yeah,
All right,
we're both co-hosts.
All right, well, here's my co-host, Mr. Jacobella.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
All right, cool.
What the hell?
You happy with that?
You really, at least I introduced you as, my sweet friend, and here you come and
Sweet
you're just
friend. No. Sweet friend is like, why don't I put you together with my sweet friend? He's great. He's sweet. Fuck you, man. I'm a bad boy. Fuck you.
he is a bad boy. Did you see the way he introduced me, guys? That was strange.
Can I swear on this?
Yes, you can.
All right, I'm saving
Yes,
it.
you can, but goddamn.
I'm saving it.
Can I bleep on this? Anyway, so Jordan, what are we doing here?
Well, I don't know. You're sort of like, hey, you want to talk? And I'm like, I thought something happened. I thought someone died or something. And I come here and there's all this equipment around and this microphone. You give it to me and I'm just like, all right, this is happening.
Okay. And I mean that's not an odd occasion for us. We're always like miscommunicating and everything like that. Like yesterday.
All right. Okay. All right. In my fucking defense, you want to explain what happened and I'll bring up the proof.
Yeah.
How about that?
Oh, okay. He's gonna bring up the
in the-
history of this actual conversation. Yesterday I was in I don't know why. He just messaged me. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing after work? You free?" And I told him I'm working till 8, saying that, "Hey, I'm working till 8. That's pretty late. Probably don't want to hang out. I want to go home."
Also, after at 6, so he sent that at 6. I finished at 8. All right. Also says the name of the podcast we wanted was already taken, so we need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Implying shit. We shoot tomorrow. We need to know what the name of the thing is.
We need
so
to
I
know.
thought, okay. And then I pop up, and he's sort of like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm just like, "Sup, girl?"
I never said that. I never said, "What are you doing here?" When I saw you, all of it went in my mind. I'm like, he thought that I meant yeah. I because that reply is, "I finish at 8, meet you there," sort of thing. You took it as that. But in my mind, it was like, I finish at 8. It's pretty late.
Fuck you. Now I have to every time. All right.
Yeah.
Because that's the point of everything is you make plans with someone. You're like, oh yeah, let's do this on Friday, and then at 6 or something, and at 3:30 that day, you're like, do I confirm? Do I just pop up? And then they're just like, well, I'm not here, and it's sort of like, okay. Then you're that guy, so like, definitely Friday, huh? Definitely Friday. You still going? You're not gonna bring anyone else, will you? Okay. All right.
Well, what have you learned from this situation, though?
Be very autistic.
What do you mean?
You'd be like, finish at 8. Is that an invitation? Now it's going to be like, a girl's going to be like, oh, hey, I'm all alone in this big house. Is that an invitation? No, Jordan, it's solicitation, you dumb fuck.
I can't read body language that well. Oh, God.
I don't read faces as good no more.
Actually, you mentioned in that conversation just then that our podcast name was taken. We don't have a podcast name, but obviously when you come up with this idea to make a podcast, you just start shouting names at each other. Two guys, one microphone, and just trying to make them
I
seem
need a
funnier
sandwich.
and funnier.
I actually do need a sandwich.
Yeah, I saw that on the
shouting
list.
out things that I wanted.
Yeah, so let's
Commitment!
Let's bring up that list actually of the podcast that we were. Actually, I think Jordan did most of the heavy lifting on this one,
yeah.
which is freaking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
God knows that I can create a great podcast, but not a good title.
Ooh.
Okay, so the first one that comes up on the list is One Line at a Time podcast.
I liked it,
It
baby
sounds
steps,
good.
one step at a time,
One
one
step
line at a
one
time.
line at a
That's how
time.
you have to do it.
Very improvisational comedy sort of stuff.
I mean, if we were female comics, marginally successful, that'd probably be on a wall, one line at a time. You're like,
Yeah.
right on.
Yeah, right on.
Right on.
Actually, I will do that.
I will.
One thought at a time.
One thought at a time. Unlike me, which is just
That's
multiple
actually
thoughts.
not a female trait at all.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't.
You got
Aren't they supposed to be really good at multitasking and stuff like that? It would be like
I just burped into the mic, so sorry. I have no spatial awareness. I have nothing. Imagine people listening to this is like, God, I have to put up from like 6 hours every fucking day. Now I got to actually listen to it in my free
a
time.
6 hour podcast. No. We're gonna do 6 episodes a week, 1 hour each, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, we can do that. More like I can do that.
Yeah, I can do that. Like, are you free? Are you free 1 a.m. to 2 a.m.
I would love that fucking shift.
Yeah. Okay.
That'd be so fucking. It'd be so good. You're like, oh honey, I gotta go work. Okay.
Okay.
No affairs.
No affairs. I don't know what anyone else is doing from 1 to 2 a.m. listening to the radio.
Fucking obviously.
Nothing good happens after 2 a.m.
That's what my dad used to say. He's like, you're not in bed by 12, go home, son. He never said that.
we only hit the first one.
All right.
So the second one is actually the successful one that we ended up choosing, which was Not Another Podcast.
FYI, I'm not going to remember the title.
But look, you said Not Another Podcast, and I added the podcast at the end. Like it was almost like like the cherry on top with my lyrical genius. You know what I mean? I feel like NAPP sounds a lot better than NAP.
NAPP.
Yeah, because I like saying PP as well.
PP.
We'll speed through the rest of them right here. Trash this podcast.
Yeah.
It was a spin on what we wanted originally, which was delete this podcast. Yeah. Because at the end of it, we're just like,
I think I think I pitched that to someone where it's like, delete his podcast. And like, after episode 6, it might get a bit old. I'm like, fuck you.
So now they have to look forward to like 6 weeks in advance. I'll be like, oh, it's not another podcast, and I'll be like, fuck, not another podcast.
Oh god, there's a guy I works with, and there's a guy who's equally annoying. He's trying to like integrate him to the group, but it's sort of like we need to get a new. I'm not gonna do that bit. Fuck it.
Look, the next one was pretty cool. I liked it, but I didn't know if anyone would like it. I personally liked it, and I thought maybe it had some sort of potential. It was Second-Rate Comedy Podcast.
Yeah, second-rate comedy.
I like that.
Yeah.
I really do. I like second-rate comedy. I like the idea of, you not being the pinnacle of comedy, obviously, because who are you?
Adam Sandler.
You're not.
Yeah.
No.
Look, I'm wearing shorts. I'm like,
He doesn't wear shorts.
He does.
He does. He wears his like loose ass shorts.
Yeah, when my kids want to go to Hawaii, so I'm just gonna make a film about me transitioning and going to Hawaii.
Jack and Jill.
Get it? You're funny?
Jack and Jill in theaters.
I like Jack and Jill.
Yeah, you're insane. All right, this one's good. That you really like. I bet you really like this one. 2 dudes sharing a mic. Now, Jordan, are we sharing a mic?
We're sharing something. A moment, I believe.
Have we ever thought about sharing a mic in the same podcast?
Yeah, sure. So the idea of the intro was going to be a single mic and you and me going, men. And like some kid just pops up. Men.
It's just a smaller version of me.
And then we age him up and it looks really, oh God.
Yeah. And then, I think at this point you forgot what list this was and you wrote, I need a sandwich. I think that was your today's to-do list or something like that. Because I don't think that's a podcast, and you didn't end it with I need a sandwich podcast.
Podcast. I didn't want to write podcast every single time, so you could just add it in whenever.
Oh, okay.
Like there's a moment where it's sort of like, this, no, not another podcast, no. I need a sandwich. Say that again.
I do. Yes,
I apologize. I think I'm breathing in the mic, so I'm just gonna.
That's okay. Look, I feel like I need a sandwich could be offensive.
Why?
It could get rid of all of our female audience. They see it and they're like, you fucking what?
I didn't say bologna sandwich.
What do you mean?
Or a fish sandwich.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's amazing. I didn't say salami or a sausage sandwich. Because that's directly for Bunnings. Okay, the next one was Open Mic Podcast.
I was say Opium Podcast.
Opium
Podcast. Jesus, that's brilliant.
No, we're not that Native American guy on the news. Oh, that's a terrible joke.
I just imagine his nephew going, hey, hi, on Opium. Be like, oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good podcast, and then he dies. Then I don't know. I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah, you gesture a lot with the microphone, so you fade away when you're trying to say something.
I'm going to be...
Oh god. Yeah, that's great for you. That's great for everyone at home. If anyone's ever wanted Jordan's breath to be an ASMR, that was it. There you go. And then the last one was Are We Live podcast?
Yeah.
With a question mark.
Because it could be like we were going to do delete this.
Yep.
And we're just going to be like, probably just going to delete it anyway.
Yep.
That was the thing. It's sort of like, are we live? And we just started talking and we were like, oh, fuck, are we live?
We're not live.
We're not?
No.
Live
It's a
to
podcast.
tape? Live to tape?
What does that mean?
Means like you tape it and it's like it's live, but it's live to tape.
Cool. Can I have some who does that? Has anyone ever done that?
Trying to make it a thing.
No, but has it happened in history?
I've heard the term live to tape.
It doesn't make any sense because realistically, isn't anything live to tape?
I think that means it's just tape that's sort of like, yeah, it's live to tape, asshole.
Have you heard this before?
Yeah.
As an expression?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make any sense though. Of course, unless it's like an animation, maybe. It's not live to tape.
I think it's just saying that it's just taped and they're trying to make it fancy. It's like, oh, it's live to tape. But
yeah,
it's
like
taped.
when someone says, "Oh, it's fresh frozen."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like it's fresh from the sea, but then they freeze it, and then it gets to my.
And then we ship
then
it
it's
to you,
frozen.
and then you cook it.
And that commences the podcast section.
All this is gonna be cut out.
Well, look, the podcast titles, they were great. I think we hit bedrock straight away at the second one. Nap. Not another podcast. What's going on in your world, Jordan?
Nothing. Just working. Making a crust.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, comedy isn't my full-time job. Obviously, because we're not good at it.
Is it your part-time job?
It's a hobby. All right, you want to hear a story?
Yeah, I do.
This happened to me this week, right?
Yep.
I was working in a retail situation. I'm not going to say the name of it,
Mm-hmm.
but it rhymes with Margaret. Okay?
Yep.
Just let that,
Thatcher.
Margaret Bullseye.
Thatcher.
That gives me another story, but I'll save it for a later date.
Thank you.
But anyway, so what happened this week is I was working at my job, and this Scottish lady walks up to me, and she says, "Where do I pay?" And I'm like, "Excuse me?" She's like, "Where do I pay?" And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Where do I pay?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, outside the shop, take a left. It's just in that little crevice." And she's like, gives me a look like, "What the fuck are you on about, mate? Like, what are you doing?" And she's like walking out like she's about to be pranked. And I said, "Excuse me, ma'am. I got to have to sorry, touch your mic. I got to have to take those off you, and you can come back and I hold them for you." And she's like, looking at me like, "But I need to pay." And I'm like, "It's great, but you can't bring it into the bathroom because, it's outside the shop. You're gonna have to come back." It's like, "I need to pay." And I'm like, "What?" And she says, "Pay." And I'm just like, I'm half Scottish, and I'm just like, I can't work it out. And eventually she said, I'm gonna say it. She says, "Pay." I'm like, "Oh, pay, right? Okay, no, it's at the registers just over there." And she got so mad. She's like, "Why didn't you listen to me? Why did you think I was saying pay about saying pay?" And then luckily there was someone merchandising and sort of said, in his defense, like, "You sound like you're saying pay." "Oh, that's my Glasgow accent, blah." And then walks out.
I love how you tried to take her stuff. She's like, you're telling her to walk out of the store, and you're like, "Look, you're gonna have to leave the products here if you're gonna go pee. I don't know what you're gonna go do with it."
How dumb can you be? Out of the history of stores, out of the history of retail, right, all the way to Roman times, because that's where they fucking started.
Yep.
It's at the front of the store.
Yeah.
No one walks out of the front and be like, "Where's the pay?" Maybe the people standing in line in
Just
an
look for the
airport
nearest
queue.
line.
Yeah. They're not waiting for a taxi. They're not waiting to get checked on a plane. That's what you...
Yep. I mean, there are some stores that we've walked into recently where the counter's at the back or in the
J-Mart.
center. What the frick is up with that, dude?
Yeah. I hate when you get people like that and they're like, "I have a great idea for the business. What is it? Let's take the front of the store, right, and put in the middle. Oh, how very cosmopolitan of you." All right.
Wow, this is so new age. This is really going to change the store.
It doesn't take George Clooney in Ocean's 11 to work out how to steal. What you do is there's one person at the door checking the bags. You get 3 people to be like with big bags saying, "Oh, here you go," and then you walk out of all the stuff you want.
Yeah.
Okay, what's going to happen realistically, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Ocean's 14.
Yeah.
We can make retail.
Wait, what was the one that came out? Ocean's 9?
8.
8. Yeah, well, that's
Don't
Ocean's
make me
9.
say the joke.
Look, it's Ocean's
Don't
9.
make
There's
me
shopping. It's the next thing.
Don't make me say the Ocean's 8 joke.
What is it?
Why do they make Ocean's 8 but not Ocean's 11?
Why?
Because they couldn't find 8 women in Hollywood wanting to work together. I
That's
liked that
good.
movie. That was a good movie.
You liked it?
I liked it.
I didn't even watch it. I don't know.
I enjoyed it. The thing that let it down felt like was the script.
You know what?
It did. It did.
Other than that, it was a great film.
Other than that, it was
what
fine.
the hell?
It was fine.
What? Like, that doesn't make any sense at all.
The
It's
script
like,
and the direction, like if you watch Ocean's 11,
Yeah.
has a distinct feel, a flow, it has a charm to it. Ocean's 8 just feels like, okay, these are really great actresses, but it just doesn't,
You know what it sounds like you're saying right now?
I'm sexist.
Look, that's no. That looks like it was such a great hotel, but the bed was really shit. It's like it's the only reason you go to a hotel is to sleep.
Is it?
What the fuck else are you doing in there?
Gamble, solicit.
In a hotel?
Yeah, solicit.
Gambling in a room?
There's like a black guy and he's got like little checkers and he's like, hey, you want to play, son? I'm like, all right.
You don't gamble on checkers, dude.
Damn it! Fucker hustled me.
God damn. That's what it sounds like you're saying. It's like, that's a great hotel, but the beds aren't
Just
that
didn't
good.
have the charm of the first movie. That's all
Well,
I'm saying.
exactly. That's because it isn't the first movie.
Yep, different directors. So
Different directors, different people. It's just it's just very confusing.
just the feel of it. It's just
It could have been something completely different and not had the name. And sure, that would have been fine.
like Ocean's 9.
People would have been like, "Oh, that's like an Ocean's film. That's cool." It's from the guys that created the Ocean film, but it's not Oceans. You know, you could have called it Julia Roberts for all I care.
Julia Roberts for all I care.
2. They're doing it again in J-Mart. All right. So what else is there?
So how long is this podcast going to be on for?
For the rest of our lives.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Realistically, what's the time?
What, the actual time limit?
Yeah.
We're aiming for about an hour.
I've given you like 17 minutes of gold. You work with it. You stretch it out.
Why are you leaving? Come back.
Now I'm over here. All right, cool. That's just.
He's whispering about you now.
All right, cool.
Okay, cool.
Let's just might as well. We've stretched this out long enough. Let's go to a segment.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So we have a selected few amount of segments. But before we do that, we always like to give a moment to our advertisers out there. So Jordan, do you want to roll some ads?
Yeah, I'll roll some ads.
Okay.
Now.
Go.
Hi, my name's Josh, and I'm at joshservices.com. I want to be here to service you. I want the best service that I can give you. No matter what it takes, I'm going to give you the best service ever. That's why my website and business is called joshservices.com. Now, we got some testimonies about my business of serving people, especially, hopefully, you.
Yeah, I really enjoyed my service. He was prompt and quick, and he was a very clever guy.
That's the level of service I'm going to give you. If I can't get you off, you're going to be out the door. I'm even so good that I'm going to give you some of my bad reviews on the services that I will give you, hopefully.
I was very confused at what services he would provide. Yeah, guys, look into this guy a bit more. 1 star.
See? If I wasn't honest, I wouldn't give that to you now, would I? Come over to joshservices.com. We have a shop in Arkansas. It's just down by the highway, and I will be ready to service you.
Yeah, that's good. And thank you, Josh Services, for advertising on our platform.
That kind of sounds like me. That's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. Is he a cousin or something?
I don't know.
Are you from Arkansas?
Arkansas? You mean Arkham?
Arkansas. You said it.
Arkansas?
Sorry, I'm only reading it right now. Arkansas.
Arkansas. Sounds like terminal cancer. You
Yeah,
have
okay.
Arkansas. Oh, how bad is it? Saul.
Alright. So thank you for that advertising. On to the next bit, which is headlines. There you go. Jordan's making all of our music for our segments.
Yeah, thanks. I'm like a modern day David Bowie.
Cool. So Jordan, look, Jordan, always in the mic.
Sorry, mate.
Thank you very much.
It's a pilot.
Yeah, I understand.
It's a pilot.
Yeah, we'll figure out. We'll give you a mic stand at some point.
Just like Freddie Mercury.
I love that you have a mic stand right now, but it's just so short that you're holding the whole thing anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable unless I hold it in my hand.
Yeah, that's great. Anyway, so next, what are some of the headlines of this week? So what we'll do in this one is we'll just there might be some controversial things going on. There might be some interesting stories, but we thought we might just talk about them and update you if you guys don't know anything that's going on.
All right, you want to go
We're not
first?
going to be your news source, but we're just going to talk about what's
Fake
going
news.
on. We're the fakest of news as we're like filtering it through just like random posts on Facebook
Through
or
the prism of humor. All right, you want me to go first?
Well, yeah, go ahead.
You want to go first?
No, I've got nothing.
Cool. All right. 2 men critical after attending Hardcore Till I Die festival in Sydney. I don't think they get the... I don't think... Like, if you go to somewhere like Hardcore Till I Die festival, you kind of want to...
Die?
Yeah, exactly. You
Okay,
know what I mean?
well, that's a fucking unfortunate
Like,
name.
imagine, like, sort of like, oh, yeah, I overdosed at Hardcore Till I Die. So did you die? And he's like, no, because I'm telling the story.
Does that mean that only 2 people were the most hardcore people in that
besides all the cop bashings, boom, tish. That was actually
nice.
Yeah,
The most hardcore thing was the clubs that they were getting beat with.
They're just pill testing for everyone else.
What?
They're just pill testing for everyone else.
Pill testing.
Yeah.
Look, that's great. So like that's the other thing that I looked up the other day because I had no idea and it didn't make sense to me the idea of pill testing. Everyone's like, hey, if you want us to be safe at festivals, offer pill testing. And it's like, is that movement asking the government to go leave the police out of this? Like make pills legal? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, because how would you do it? Because it's technically illegal.
Yeah. It's like here, here, spend government money to have pill testers there.
And what do? They just like take the pills themselves, like
a
food tester for like a.
However, they put them in those little baggies, with the. Have you seen Cops where they like put the narcotics in the bag and they shake and they're like, if this turns green in about half a minute, then he's going to jail. Remember that stuff? Yeah. So like, either it has to be like individual businesses that want to do that, like you know what I mean, like organizations, and not anything to do with the government, or they're just telling the police not to come at all.
Or just don't take drugs.
Yeah, but then no one would go to a festival.
Thank God. It seems like so much work. Like, you have to be ripped. Okay, cool. Like, then you have to... It's always hot, and water's probably like $20 a bottle, and it's just... All the music's playing, like,
You know what? You actually touched on a very interesting point. I reckon there will be this weird moment where now pills are legal. The new next issue is like people smuggling in water for people. Like that'll be the new illegal thing because they're like, I don't want to spend $40 on water for the day. I'm just gonna bring water for my friends.
You want some water? Right? I'll let you blow for it. Gotta get your dick sucked.
No. That's not my dick. That's the nozzle for the water. No, my water.
I spilled the gravy.
Yeah.
Which was the name of one of the podcasts that I wanted to do. Spill the gravy during the podcast.
Look,
I just like, spilled the gravy.
But then you came in with your pants off, and I had to change it real quick.
A little behind the scenes for you.
Yeah. Cool. So that anyway, that's what that hits a note for me. Yeah. That headline. It's unfortunate that people have to keep dying. But it's also really funny that they made that the name of the hardcore festival.
Till I Die festival, and they're sort of like, you didn't get the memo. Like, someone told me that story. Yeah, I nearly died at the Till I Die. And I was like, so you completely ignored the meaning of the festival.
Yeah, the last time there was a festival like that, it was called Heaven's Gate, and the success rate of everyone dying was pretty high.
I actually read a thing where, actually this is in the headline. I should have done that fucking headline, but I read it where
it's still time.
People, reporters weren't allowed into the festival, but drug dealers obviously slipped in. So can you imagine reporters who's dressing up like drug dealers? Is that a mic? No, it's opium. But no, really, this seems
all right, like... go to the test tent. We'll test the opium, make sure it's okay. There's this guy with like a Star of David on his head and no shirt and cargo shorts, and he just tests everyone's drugs. That is narcotics. Continue on.
Sounds like a Key and Peele speech. Heroin. Moving on.
Have you got any more headlines?
That's chocolate. Yeah.
Yep.
The world's oldest Nobel Prize winner, a
Mhm.
96-year-old physicist, says his new invention will give everyone in the world clean and cheap energy. And in other news, the oldest Nobel Prize winner dies.
Wait, really? Wait, what? I'm so confused at that.
Because it's like, ooh, cheap energy, then they mysteriously disappear.
Oh, yeah. Shit. Okay, that was even funny when you explained it.
That was like my fucking thing. I'm like, that's the one I'm actually proud of.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Did it get into anything like
Oh, I just did the headlines.
what it was? What if it was just like, it's solar power, we have the sun, why can't we harness the power of the sun?
Or trash. I need fuel.
And then like no one tells him about solar power already, and they're just like, yeah, okay, we can work on some sort of conductive sheet that'll create heat through electricity, and then like it'll power a battery or something like that. Genius! How did you come up with that so quick?
No, I hit my head in the 50s. I came up with it.
It took me 97 years to come up with this.
He'd be a year old. He's like, gets sunburned as a child. He's like, there's something here. He's always been an old Jew. Ha ha.
So today on Mythical News, we've got some great mysterious universe stuff here.
Really big universe stuff. Yowie gives me nightmares, Queensland truckie says.
And is this the chocolate or the actual Yowie?
Actual Yowie.
Yeah.
The last time I saw a Yowie, I crapped myself because those are disgusting chocolates.
Okay, wait, are we talking about the chocolates?
When you said chocolates, I'm like, fuck me up.
Sorry, man.
God damn it.
But let's keep it up.
You dirty dog.
But no, did you get into that headline at all?
It was. So essentially, the Yowie just walks by.
Mm-hmm.
It walks by him.
Yeah.
And he stops. And then the Yowie just like turns and walks away. And conveniently, his dash cam was in the shop that day. This was in the actual article.
What the hell?
And he kept it to himself where he's sort of like, oh no, it's going to believe me, mate. Like my depression, they don't give a fuck. And then the wife's like, I believe you. The Yowie. And that's the story.
That's scary.
I feel scared.
Oh my god. What your diet will have to look like in the future.
Isn't it just like fat's just like transported for your blood cells?
No, it's just like, let's start with breakfast. Muesli and fruit. Like, it's... sorry. I'm always getting angry about food things, and it just frustrates me to the highest of hell. Almost like, people are like, oh, muesli and fruits are good in the morning. Did you know that?
I did.
Yeah, so did my grandmother. You know what I mean? It's just like, we know this. We just know that bacon and egg out trumps any other version of breakfast. Sometimes people want a nice fucking hot egg, you know?
Or freshly served avocados. Ugh. I fucking hate avocados, I'm not gonna lie.
All right, yeah, you're dropping that bomb on the first episode.
Fucking hate it.
On the
Fucking
pilot
hate it.
episode.
If that, why do you keep saying pilot episode? What is this shit, man?
Well, this might not air.
Good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's always a chance this might not air because it's our pilot.
It is.
And we're figuring out what happens when we just lay it all on the block, you know?
I like that idea.
Yeah, I know. So this might not work, and if the people are listening, guess what? We made it. It is our first episode.
We made
But
it.
it's the pilot. So it's actually 0. Number 0. It's not 1.
0.01 maybe. I just love,
That can be the next pilot.
I just love doing that, and Dick just like
I process. I'm like, how can I reply to that now? Like, no. In my mind, I'm like, okay, what the heck did Jordan just think in his mind to even present that as something to say?
It's just like I see the flames all around me. I'm just like, might as well have a laugh.
Oh, that's nice.
Jake, if I'm going down, it's nice to you coming with me.
Look, I'm just hope that whenever you are going down or coming down, don't hold on to me. Let one of us stay up. So this next one, I've been using them for a very long time, and Jordan's always teasing me about it, but I'm so proud of this one. So I'd like to just go into another advertising segment.
Hi, my name's Bob, and I'm here with the Man Scratcher. What's the man scratcher? Glad you asked. Well, here's the man scratcher right here. And here's what you do. You grab it and then you start scratching. You like that, mister?
Yeah, sure do.
Oh, it really gets in the spot right there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you feel like a real big man after that man scratcher.
Yeah, I'm just so glad that I can stop using my wife's woman scratcher because I really need a man-sized scratcher.
It's so nice that my husband uses the man scratcher because now he looks and smells like a man.
I used the man scratcher a long time ago, and it was a stick.
I like using the man scratcher when people aren't watching. Just makes me feel like a man again.
Hey, Dad, what are you doing with that stick?
Get out of here, Sonny! You're not my son!
Honey, it's stuck in me again. Just say whatever to the ambulance. That's a man scratcher.
So, if you'd like your man scratcher, type in ZZZZ in the coupon section of the website, manscratcher.com, and you will get your 10% off your first brown stick. As the years go by and you upgrade your stick, we'll upgrade to better versions of it. So the next one is a brick stick, and then finally you'll get your aluminum stick. Order now.
Sorry, I got the man scratcher. Do you just stick that up your butt? Yeah, this is
Yep, you heard
unbearable.
that. You heard that section, and what that means is it's time to talk about what's next. What are we doing next with this podcast? What do we want from our listeners?
Money, likes on Instagram or Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a working toilet.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Just groupies.
Yep.
Like Jake's in a relationship, so I can just be like, yeah, come on here for the groupies. Not a Harvey Weinstein thing. It's purely.
Yeah, you're definitely not gonna use your position of power to
I'm not gonna come in that plan if that's what she's saying. But no one ever says that plan is thriving.
It's the greenest it's ever looked.
Can you imagine being someone just walking by the plan and they look at it and like, that's dry semen.
Yep. So we would use this this segment here to talk about maybe emails or some sort of user review. Or we could just call it nap time.
Well, I got actually a review right now. It just popped up.
Yep.
From a Mandy Abella. Great show, guys. Thanks, Mum, for the support.
I'd like to thank my mommy.
She's my mum.
Thanks,
too.
mommy.
Oh, that's scary. All right. Well, what we need is discipline.
Yeah. Well, what you need is discipline,
Yeah, I
Jordan.
do. We all need
Let's be real here.
Coming with no headlines.
Oh yeah, I don't know why.
Dig the fucking trenches, mate.
No, dude, I was scouring the news today, and I'm like, you know what? I'll go to Reddit, and then I went to Reddit, and I just fell into like different subreddits now. I was like,
I've seen
you know, what's happening in Sydney, and I was like, okay, cool. Now I'm looking at Sydney. Oh, look, that's satisfying. Let's look at that. The most recent thing I looked at was like these kids doing Fortnite dances, and the presenters trying to do it with them, and they just look so fucking out of place.
Yeah, basic.
They look so old. I'm just like, oh, they don't even know what's happening, dude.
Sex, baby. It's all about the you and me.
No,
Meme review.
it's meme review time. So currently, right now, as we speak, the dropping meme at the moment is all based around Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. I don't know why, and I don't know how, but it is very funny. I'm so for it. People still don't really understand how memes grow or anything like that. And honestly, it's from one person and then two people do it. It's like the biggest pyramid scheme thing of all time. That's all it is.
There's just a meme at the top that just gets nothing but satisfaction.
Yeah, gets nothing but satisfaction. Being like, that Shaggy stuff? I did that once. That Matthew Broderick getting hit by hitting people in the car? That was me. What? No way. That's so useful to know.
Actually, I've seen a variation of that meme.
Of what?
Of the, where
Shaggy meme.
Yeah, Shaggy meme. Where it's the young kid from Anakin Skywalker from Star Wars.
Yeah.
And he's like, George Lucas fed me LSD and put me in a pod racing. And all I did was, this is pod racing. And he filmed it.
like the reason I like hold my tongue in that one is because what's the bet in 30 years? That's actually the truth. Like we just hear that, like, you know, he was fucked. Jake Lloyd.
Yeah, Jake.
Far out. I feel so sorry for him.
Yippee!
Do you watch that awkward interview with him? Like
is
that
that?
Australian interview where he's just like, I'm just trying to ascertain the meaning of your question. Because he's like asking all these questions, and he's just like, you've just got to stop asking me about Star Wars, man.
I would, if he ever comes back and he gets like a photograph signing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna dress up as Obi-Wan, not say a word, just he signs it, and I'll be like, "You will become a Jedi, Anakin. I promise." And walk away.
Anyway, in explanation, for this meme review section, I guess Shaggy is some sort of supreme overlord.
Yeah.
The guy, either the actor or the guy, or just Shaggy himself. But there's a whole bunch of like behind the scenes screenshots of all the other characters all dressed up, and they're just explaining like it was hard to film with Shaggy because if you look at his gaze, even with 1% of his power, you just melt into nothing. or like mortal bodies can't be around him. The explanation of him saying like things like, "Oh, I once, once I become him." Oh, what was it? I think I saved it. It's really, yeah. Here we go. He says, "I don't actually remember filming any scenes. Once the camera started rolling, I black out, and then the spirit of Shaggy possessed me. Possessed my mortal body once again." It's kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh. I get the like
It's just like an Andy Kaufman sort of thing.
Yeah, dude.
Andy was in there. It wasn't me.
Yeah, it was Andy. So that is the current meme at the moment. It's very funny to me. And I love Scooby-Doo. Anything to do with Scooby-Doo.
But it's Scooby-Doo 2.
It doesn't matter Scooby-Doo 2 or
Second
1.
Scooby-Doo sucks.
It doesn't matter, man.
Sucks.
You're talking about the Supreme Overlord Shaggy, dude. How dare you?
Yeah.
And on other news, he
I
does
think-
have on other news, I also heard that Shaggy has the what was it again? That's right. Shaggy has a permanent N-word pass as well. So
It's like when Bodhi gave me that pass.
yeah, but that only works on the West Coast.
And I don't think it works in Harlem though. I've like described Bodhi to so many people that it feels like they know him. So it's like Bodhi's like, "Oh, Bodhi." I miss that little ball of fur.
Little?
Yeah, a little.
It's a big ball of fur. that hair, man.
I love
Too much to handle.
We went to the movies twice with him, and every person behind him was like, and I told him it once, and he could actually genuinely see the disappointment.
Yeah.
Like, oh, God.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, I'm so sorry,
Dude, it was so good. Like what he came late once.
It was the
Louis Theroux
Louis
one.
Theroux
The
Scientology movie.
He sits down. He sits down, and I without like a doubt, I always look behind him. He sits down, and the guy goes, I can't even say it straight. He sits down, and the guy's like, "Oh," almost like it was a practical joke. almost like if you put a whoopee cushion on his chair and he sat down, he was like, "Ah,
I've been bamboozled.
I've been bamboozled. I've been outsmarted."
Been bamboozled, run amok, led astray.
And that was
Main review.
cool. So
I thought it was the main review, and I thought we were just gonna like rip into people. Like I had like a whole list of things to say.
yeah, you were like,
Like-
let's talk about my friend's emotional.
So Jake's giant nose, you can't see it, but somehow you can feel it on the mic.
That's why I have this mic. It hides my nose. It's a really big mic. It hides most of my face. I kind of look like Bane to Jordan right now.
Why?
Nobody knows who I was till I put on the mask.
It's the meme review.
Meme review.
Shaggy, a demigod to you people.
All right, this next section is about true crime and cold cases.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, there was a man, and he lived in a really it was a really remote place. It was like a woods or something.
Woods.
Yeah, it was out in the woods.
That's like a scary forest.
Yeah, it's like a scary forest, but it's woods.
Scary forest.
He would wear like like a checkered. He looked kind of he had like a red and black checkered shirt
Oh
on.
no, my boyfriend wears one of those.
Yeah, and
I hope
and he
he's
has
not the
like
killer.
he has like a big beard and overalls. Yeah,
My boyfriend has that too.
and he walks around with a big axe. Yeah.
My boyfriend's a lumberjack. He likes to cut firewood.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
And then he would go out and he'd just chop wood all day, chop wood for warmth. and
Shut up!
everything
Shut
like
up!
that in
Shut up!
building.
Shut up!
Yeah.
Shut up!
And then one day he heard some commotion going on in another house, and he
In the house.
and the door was wide open already,
And then the forest.
and
He
he
could
was
have
hearing
easily snuck
screaming.
in.
and so he went in to help, and it was this wolf. This wolf was dressed head to toe in grandma's costume.
How did he take the clothes and open the door?
And then there was this little girl screaming. She had a little red hood on. She it was like a hood and little. It looked like a dress, but it wasn't. It was like a cape.
Was it a cape or a dress?
Yeah, both things.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and what he did was he cut the wolf in half, and inside was the grandma. The wolf ate the grandma in whole.
Hole
Yeah, and the grandma was fine.
in her mouth hole and it went
Yeah,
down to a hole.
And the grandma was fine. And later on, that lumberjack, he was charged on animal cruelty,
Animal cruelty.
and he's living 6 years in jail.
But the wolf did all the crimes.
No, see,
The wolf ate the grandmother.
see, that's the circle of life.
That's so scary.
Yeah, that's real scary.
That's scary.
I don't want to go out into the woods anymore.
If you go out to the woods today, you should have a picnic.
The teddy bear picnic. If you go out to the woods today, you better go in disguise. Like being in a wolf costume wearing grandma's thing. For every wolf that ever there was will get cut in half because
You had some firewood.
today's the day the lumberjack's gonna kill you.
I
The
didn't-
worst nursery rhyme ever.
It's still like singing that to your kid. God is in his holy temple. Gotta use my strong hand.
So did you bring any cold case files?
I did.
Okay.
There was this guy, right?
Oh.
Yeah, no, well, was in this little town.
Yep.
Yeah, called Haddonfield.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in America.
Yeah.
You know, that's like us, but like because they sound American.
Yep.
Not quite English, not quite Australian.
That's scary.
That's scary. And so what he was, right? He was a mental patient.
Oh.
Yeah, he stole a car on a rainy night. But people are like, how can he drive if he's been in there since he's 6 years old?
You sound like Mike Tyson. Keep going.
So, you know, and then he goes into a hardware store and then picks up some overalls. He picks up a William Shatner mask. And then he goes around just trying to hunt people and kill them. And then he kills all the babysitter's friends until she survives. And then he goes back to prison. It's not really a cold case file. It seems like a pretty open and shut case. To quote Obama, we got him.
Ooh. That's scary.
That's so scary. It's just
Oh
a
my
plotline to
God.
Halloween.
What a story, Mark.
Cool. And that was the end of Cold Cases. Okay. Oh, yeah. This is actually how I always want to wrap up our segments. Oh, sorry. Wrap up our podcast. And I'm totally dropping this on you because it's fun. But essentially, I want to end our podcast with a recommendation, a book, a game, a comic, a fucking TV show,
Okay.
a movie.
Okay.
We're gonna call this recommendations.
Like on Netflix. The recommendations on Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. See, he gets it. He gets our connections. This is why we're just like so good together.
Yeah.
Okay. So I fucking didn't even think about it for myself.
I got one already.
Okay, go for it.
It's a movie, and then there's like a guy who who killed all the teenagers 40 years ago, and they caught him, and then he comes back, and then the lady is there, but she's much older.
No, you need come on, man.
All right, I'll do a proper one. The Fire Festival on Netflix is the greatest piece of documentarian literature, film, reels of film. I don't know the proper term, but
Yeah,
it
the
is.
book was better though.
It's literally my favorite documentary right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to have a documentary called Searching for Sugarman, who I also recommend, because I watched it in film school, and I'm like, okay, because everyone's like, oh, he dies. I'm like, okay, then he comes back. I'm like, what?
He comes back?
No, yeah, spoilers.
Oh, dude.
And now he like goes on tour, and he's like the voice of the apartheid. It's really nice. But anyway, back to the Fire Festival.
Yep.
Oh man, if that guy just you probably explained it a bit better than I could. The Fire Festival was meant to be this new hip festival a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And this was like a whole social media thing, and
Yeah.
then it just sucked.
It was based on being like very Instagrammable.
Yes.
Like that was the whole idea of the whole thing. And you're gonna look like so good. It's like a high class festival.
Yeah.
You're gonna have villas and all that sort of stuff. And then it ended up looking like Guantanamo Bay.
At least Guantanamo Bay actually had working facilities. but it's like all the Instagrammers sort of doing, this is what I was promised. And I'm just like, if an Instagrammer screams at Fire Festival, does anyone hear it? But no, it's a really great, it's just, I can't do it justice. It's just sort of fuck up after fuck up after fuck up, where it's sort of, if they had just listened to one person, like his idea, it would have actually come out okay.
Yeah.
But oh man, perfect example of, you know how you get people like, oh, this is how we do business, and someone's like, no, we can do it our way, and that becomes Google or Apple. There are moments where I think you actually have to listen, like you're just being a rebel for rebel's sake, and I fucking hate that. I can swear. See, I told you I saved it.
Yep, cool.
So that's my recommendation for the Fire Festival. Comment back and just tell me how much of a fuck up that guy is.
Yeah. And did you hear what they were gonna call that before they actually made it, just called the fire or whatever? They were gonna call it, I'm an internet celebrity, get me out of here.
Julia Samira. Oh, high five.
Okay, and for my recommendation, I'm gonna go a bit classic with this. We watched it together, Big Trouble Little China.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Never seen it before.
You've never seen it, and I was just like, I was shocked. I was shocked so hard that I my jaw dropped, and while it was still dropped, we walked all the way to the nearest JB Hi-Fi. I hustled the lady to try and find the Blu-ray version of this like 80s film, which it existed, and there was one copy, and we got.
It was
and
good.
we
Like
watched it.
I have a problem with that movie.
Go for it.
So they need a green-eyed girl.
Yep.
Right. I thought it had to be a green-eyed Asian girl.
Whoa.
Okay, because
Okay.
you know, like traditionally brown eyes, black hair, you know, so it has to be like 1 in a million. Then they're like, oh no, can be any girl with green eyes. Bitch, go to fucking Ireland. There's like plenty of girls with green eyes there, and you can just sacrifice them. Like that took me out of the movie, where I thought, okay, and it's like, oh, why does Kim Cattrall have green eyes? You're like, oh, because then she has to. It lost me there. Like it's like good, just shy of a classic, just because of that.
But like, this is where I get a bit weird about it. And in that, because I've heard you say that before. It's Big Trouble in Little China. I feel like he only has a radius of power. He can't leave the country or even that little section of the city.
We kind of get the goons to do it. There's like a whole like gang.
But like, sending a gang over somewhere where they have no pool doesn't work. They usually it doesn't work. They're not the SAS.
Just wait in an airport till you don't even leave the country. Wait in an airport.
Yep.
See a girl with green eyes. Be like, hey, you want to have my? Boom. Take
Yes.
it back.
You've just explained the plot.
Oh really?
That's exactly what just happened.
Oh yeah, they took the. Yeah, all right, I forgot about that part.
Holy crap! And
I
there
thought
you
it had
go.
to be. All right,
And there you go. There are no plot holes in this. It's a perfect movie. No, there's fucking plot holes. Okay, we can talk about the plot holes until the cows come home. But it's just a very enjoyable film. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's a good laugh. And it's also quite a good like martial arts film.
That's John Carpenter for you, man.
That
guy
is
is a master.
That is My Grandfather is a Carpenter film. Yes, that is correct.
Two John Carpenter films referenced in the podcast.
Oh yeah,
Halloween. Oh,
that's
scary.
scary.
That's scary.
That's just so
And
scary.
then what if he comes back 40 years later?
All right, so I don't know how this is going to work yet, but make sure you subscribe and tune in for the next Not Another Podcast. This is the pilot episode, so I don't know what to do next.
Episode 1.
Yeah, if you liked it, give us 5 stars and a review. We'll read the reviews definitely in our video.
Jake will.
I mean,
just
sorry,
give
not
me
in
the
our
good
video.
stuff.
Yeah. No, sorry. We'll read all of our reviews, even the bad ones.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's
even the
risky.
bad ones.
That's risky.
That's so scary.
That's so scary.
We'll read the bad ones, and we'll also figure out an email. In that case, we'll put it in our description, and you can just check out our description to email in.
Yeah.
But other than that, sleep tight and don't let the bed bugs bite. That's my outro.
If you go out of the woods today, you're sure to get a big surprise. If you go out of the woods today, you're sure to get a big surprise. For every bear that ever there was, and that's why the teddy bears have that pig.